Hey guys, this is the ZT0561, and this is a lanyard that I took off of my Victorinox knife. You will see why in a minute. This was sort of one of my grail knives. I've seen a lot of tabletop reviews, and I really liked it. I think it's one of the coolest folders on the market, at least for me. It's a big knife, no doubt about it. It's heavy, and it does have a deep carry pocket clip, which I like. Elmax, after I seen Cliff Stamp's test of the knife, I have to admit I was a bit scared of Elmax, and after I've seen the following video and the following video by Cliff, I decided I'm never gonna spend $260 on the knife. A friend of mine bought this one used and gifted it to me, which was very cool, and I got to have my grail knife, one of them, and I have carried it and I've used it. First test I did with this knife was I tried to see edge retention, and I started cutting cardboard. I knew how uncomfortable the knife was, but I said I have to find out for myself. Everybody has a different hand and something that's uncomfortable for somebody might not be uncomfortable for the next person. But this was so uncomfortable that after about 5 minutes of cutting cardboard, my pinky and my ring finger really took a beating. This jimping, that's what did it to me. So I said, I'm not going to do that anymore. I knew this was not going to be a hard use everyday knife for long tasks. Still carried it, carries very well, stabilizes itself in the pocket because of the deep carry pocket clip. I have no problem with it. And I don't mind the weight. I actually like the weight. So if weight's a factor for you, this knife might not be for you. I like the action. You have these ball bearing washers, very smooth action. Even if you tighten the pivot almost to the maximum, where you have no blade play, you can still flick out the blade using the flipper, or these stoppers. Does that excellent. Now, a problem I had in the beginning was the fact that it used to jam. In an open position, it used to jam. So what I did was I took a pencil and I just drawed this portion of the blade with a pencil and basically reinvented the wheel, because everybody knew about that except me. But it worked. It didn't jam anymore. Now the lockup on this one is, what, I don't know, 75%. I'm not one to care about that. For me, what is important is that it does not have blade play. If a folder has blade play, it makes me feel like I can't really rely on it. I don't know why, it's just a feeling in the hand. And it does not have blade play yet, so I'm happy. Now, well, I do like it. It's just not just negative things that I'm going to say about it. I do like the way they thought it out, constructing it with big torque screws. I like that. I wish I would have seen a T10 here instead of a T8, but hey, you're not going to get everything you want. And like I said, I like carrying it, I like using it. I would never use it for a prolonged period of time without gloves. Prying, chopping, batoning is considered abuse for this knife. I don't really care about that because it chops excellent for a folder. Now, should you chop with a folder? Probably not. But if you don't have an alternative, this knife was, I think, conceived for firemen, and it's a good chunk of steel. But if you can't pry with it, what's the point in having I don't know, 4-something millimeter blade? I don't even know how thick this is. I'm guessing about 5 millimeters. What's the point of having that? What's the point of having a solid construction if you can't really put the knife at work when you need it? I'm not suggesting batoning with a frame lock or a liner lock. But if you have no choice, and prying really is not that much of a stress for a knife. I don't think it should be, not when the knife is built like this one, and not when it costs as much as this one. Now, the handle is very thin, and the jimping is very aggressive. And nowadays, a lot of knife companies will put a very steep edge angle on their knives to have better edge retention. Also in order not to get any chips or rolls. And that works. But considering the fact that you have a thin handle, very aggressive jimping, thin handle will make you want to squeeze your hand more. The jimping will hurt even when you squeeze it like this. And the fact that you have to put more force behind the cut, in the cut, because of the very big edge angle, will make it hurt even more. Of course, you can take Elmax to a waterstone or a diamond stone and put the edge angle with which you are happy with. If you know anything about Elmax, it is very abrasion resistant, and I have not sharpened this knife. I've only maintained the edge with a ceramic stone and a strop. That's not so hard to do, but removing material from the blade, that might be a bit harder. It lends itself to feather sticking, and that's what I care about. Shaving wood. What else is there to do in the woods? Because of the obtuse edge angle, you will not get a deep bite, so you will get nice feather sticks. I'm going to show you that. But if you have to put a point on a stick, like this green dogwood stick, you will take very small slivers of wood, and putting a point will take longer than you would like. And here's my hand position. You see, I'm holding my finger over the flipper. Now let me hold it like you're supposed to hold it. And now I feel the need to squeeze the knife more in my hand. Now, let me just... Alright. I got a decent point for a 10 peg or whatever. You see it right here, and you see it right here. Not that pleasant, and I did this for what, a few seconds? You might not like that. So, let me show you how it does with feather sticks. Now, if you can just find a corner on a piece of wood, you will get very nice, very thin wood shavings because of the edge angle. You don't need to exert a lot of control, but due to the shape of the handle, I feel the need to squeeze it. This is a piece of hazel, and with hazel, if you get a knife that has a very sharp edge and an acute edge angle, you will get thicker shavings unless you control it very well. And again, caught myself doing it. I hold my finger right here. Why? Because I want more control. So I correct that. And by this point, I can really feel the knife in my hand. Really feel it. So, It's a cutting tool, but it's not the best cutting tool that you can have. Certainly not one for $260. Now, let me show you one more thing. Chopping with it. I am gonna add a video right after this, and you'll see how it chops. Chopping, I think it's an excellent knife. For everything else, I think it could be severely improved. So guys, I hope you liked my little review and demo of the ZT-0561. I tried to cover things that maybe others didn't. If I failed to cover something that you were particularly interested in, please let me know. I'll try to get to it. I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I wish you all a great day. Pretty cool knife though.